Um, okay. Now where's the I always get the cameras. Where do our eyes go? There. Okay. So, hello.
Hi.
I'm here with the amazing Kim Fielding, who I've now done
Yeah.
three books,
Yeah.
soon to be four, unless you change your mind. And we've never met. We only got to meet this weekend. That was very loud. It's straight people. They do books, loud things. So the first book I did for you was Festivus Miracle,
Yeah.
which is really kind of funny because it's not sort of the type of stuff that I'm really useful to you for. Do you know what I
But
mean?
except you did. Do you remember we had a whole discussion about accents and how the father was supposed to have a Jewish accent, but not a New York Jewish
That's
accent, or
right.
maybe a Chicago Jewish accent.
That's right.
And that's when I knew you were the right choice because you knew exactly what I meant. And
What did you? What made you decide to write that?
it was a holiday thing, and I wanted to.
But most people don't write Festivus.
Well, that's why. Not everybody celebrates Christmas, and there's only so many Christmas...
It's great.
Yeah, there's only so many Christmas stories people want to write, and Festivus is fun.
No, I loved it. It's a really cute story. And
It's
you're
fluffy, and
Yeah.
When
I-
I try and write Christmas stories, they end up really depressing. and
I
dark.
wanted it to be longer. I really did. I was like, I want it's over. And then we did Treasure, which is don't tell anyone else. Although everybody knows this because I tell everybody. My all-time favorite book I've ever done. It's just perfect. It's just
And
a
you
perfect.
were so perfect for it. I mean, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh.
Where did that come from?
That was originally from, actually somebody gave me a picture prompt for that one, for the Goodreads male romance annual thing they do. So it was a picture prompt,
And what was the prompt?
it was a sort of piratey looking larger guy. It was a kind of manga style with a younger guy in front of him, and he's protecting him, and he's got a sword.
And it just came from
It
that?
just came from that,
How quick
yeah.
how long did it take to write it?
Probably about 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
Because when you get one like that, it just flows.
It's
and
amazing.
It's like a story you have to tell.
I think the reason why I loved it so much is I was a really sickly kid. And like I missed like half of a year of school, like in and out with like asthma and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like so great to have a character like that just felt so kind of real to me, you know? He just really resonated, and it's just so sweet and whimsical, and it's like a pirate story without being like a pirate story, and it's like magical without being. It's like, oh, there's just a dragon. Like you know what I mean? You don't. It's like it's part of their everyday life with
Yeah,
these characters.
yeah.
You don't make a huge deal out of it, and it's. I just think it's a beautifully crafted book.
And you did it more than did it justice.
Why is there not another one? There could be.
There could be, and I
They
really,
go on adventures.
And I love those characters because we've got this sort of lovable rogue
Yeah.
guy and Julian, and I love characters who are they're non-traditional heroes. Julian, he's
Yeah.
been locked up and he becomes a hero, and I love that. So yeah.
It's very it's without the tongue-in-cheekness quite of it. It's very Princess Bridey. It gives you warm fuzzies.
And I think another thing that probably influenced me a lot is when my kids were little, they watched Pirates of Penzance like 10 billion
Oh my gosh, that's
times.
hilarious.
The one with Angela Lansbury.
Yep.
Yeah, that one. And so I think that played a really big part in that. So it's kind of like Gilbert and Sullivan doing gay romance with fantasy in there.
It's just a beautiful piece of writing. I love it to death. And
the accents you did, I was just listening and going, oh.
I really do think, like, if you haven't read Treasure, I don't even care if you listen to the audiobook.
No, listen to the audio.
But
yeah.
read it. And it's one of the only books I can think of in this genre that I would tell someone, it doesn't matter if you have any interest whatsoever in gay romance, read this book. Like, it's just... Hold on.
My husband has listened to it when we've been in the car. My husband's listened to it twice now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing book. And then now I'm taking over. What do you call this? Is it the
The
Enoch?
yeah, the
Yeah. Not, as the first narrator apparently said, the.
Enoch.
Yeah, she made very clear of that.
It's really nice to have a narrator who actually asks
Asks
the
you.
author how to pronounce weird names.
I have learned that if the character's name, if it's a fantasy, not if it's like a normal, but if it's a fantasy and the character's name is Bob, still ask. Because there's no doubt I will say it wrong. And that's like another, like it's dystopian and it's world building and but it's still sweet and beautiful and gentle and hopeful. I think I love that your books are so hopeful. Like,
I think I'm kind of an optimist deep inside the crusty
Yeah.
exterior. Yeah.
yeah. So where did the idea for the titles come from? Because they all have like odd names.
Odd names.
They have SAT words
So,
as
yeah,
names.
yeah, somebody did a review of it and said, "Oh, it's the series of the SAT names as titles."
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first book came to me actually. Came to me from the image. I had just like almost like a dream of the guy caught in stasis, and so as I'm thinking about what to call it,
Yeah.
stasis, and it's
Stasis is kind of it's like a system of punishment where they put someone in suspension for like 300 years or whatever, and then they wake up and they're going to be a slave. But you're basically it's like Han Solo, but not.
who was my very first crush. So
Well, there you go.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
sort of like Han Solo, but in liquid.
Yeah.
So-
So they're caught in it, and so I was looking for that. But the other characters also sort of metaphysically in stasis, mentally, psychologically. So once I had that one, then it made sense to have weird one-word titles for the rest of them.
And when I took, because I just finished recording Flux, which is book 2. I didn't do book 1, and Kim was so great. She was like, just take it in a whole new direction. And so the first book was narrated American, and the characters are now, it's much more sort of, I don't want to say Game of Thronesy, but I've approached it very, British and colloquialisms, and as they go from one region to another, the sounds change, and there's a lot of Asian influence in it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because you'll see on the cover there's this bird, and every time when I was like, because I agreed to do the book with Kim. I was thrilled when she asked me. I agreed to do the book with Kim months before I actually got to read the book because I have to prep everything else that comes before that when I'm on my schedule. And there's this bird on the cover, and I was like, oh, look, that's sweet. There's like a bird. That's sweet. And you're just like, oh, cute bird. And then you realize this bird is awful. This bird is like a bitch. This bird is an awful bird.
It's the seagulls. You should never trust seagulls.
No,
Yeah, they're like pigeons.
it's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, even a Restante designed seagull is a bad
It's a
seagull.
beautiful cover. I mean,
It
the
is.
covers she did for the series are gorgeous.
Well, we talked about that. You said
Yeah.
you wanted something really different.
I wanted something different. I wanted something really that has the symbols and that kind of it's really. I don't like really fussy covers,
Right.
And
Yeah. Which is, I didn't think about it, but it's kind of, as opposed to like having gorgeous shirtless men on the cover, because it is dystopian and because it does, it has the elements of a really great YA series. Yes, they're two gay guys,
Yeah.
but there's not.
There's almost no. I mean,
It's
it's
re-
like rated PG.
Yeah. I love that about you write beautiful love moments that fade to black, and you don't feel cheated. It doesn't feel, and I feel like it lets, because of the kind of stuff you write, it allows a wider audience to discover it.
Yeah.
And
I write sex too, but not.
Oh, absolutely.
But not in everything, and I think
Yeah,
it depends on the
but no, it's for
story.
your stories,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And with this, I think the interesting thing about using symbols on the cover is it does kind of land in that Maze Runner, Hunger Games type trope in its own completely unique way. But they are very symbol. Those
Symbols.
they work with-
Anything, any story that revolves around magic is going to
Right.
have a lot of
'Cause there's
lot of
runes
symbols.
and-
yeah.
and it's so cool that one of them is a wizard, and the wizard, one of the couple is a wizard, and his element that he draws his power from is water, And the other character, because he's been suspended in this drowned-like state for 300 years, is terrified of water. Very clever.
It's friction, like
It's-
we've been learning about this weekend.
It's
yeah.
very clever. And the other thing that was lovely about getting to change accents, and I think this really helps, for me it helps, is that you're able to show that one of them is clearly a slave, and one of them is clearly.
And you're really good at that, at showing the social class, so that with the
Yeah.
gradations.
Because I think it
accents, yeah.
inherently gives the relationship a not Enoch, the other one. Oh my God. Minor, yeah. Minor has such self-esteem issues about being worthy. And I think that when you add something like that allows the reader to hear that he's constantly reminded that he's not on the same plane.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with American sounds
Yeah,
nearly as
yeah.
much. I mean, unless you
It'd be
say
harder
like
to do.
Appalachian Southern or something like
Right.
that. But
And the setting is, I mean, they're not speaking English anyway, really.
yeah.
It's as if it's Roman.
We're translating,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So it works really well. Yeah.
And so, do we know when we're doing the third book yet?
No, I'm waiting for you to tell
We
me when
do.
you're ready.
We will have Rich tell you when I'm doing the third book.
Yeah.
And what's it called?
That one is Equipoise.
What do you have? What are you working on now?
Right now, I'm working. I just submitted a story with a vampire in Las Vegas and a half elf, and it is so much fun.
A vampire in Las Vegas.
A 150-year-old Croatian vampire in Las Vegas who meets up with a half elf.
I could get into that.
You would be great at it.
What's it called?
It's at the moment it's called Anti-Up.
And when does it go to? When will they be able to buy it if they want to buy it?
I just submitted it, so I'm waiting to hear from Dream Spinner. It's part of the Dream Spinner Beyond
Oh,
series. Yeah.
awesome.
It's a fun one. It's
Okay.
really fun.
But we know it's going to happen.
Well, they haven't given me a contract yet, but I'm
They
in the
will.
schedule.
It's Kim Fielding.
How could
Duh.
they not want me?
Duh.
Yeah.
Thank you for trusting me with such varied stories, because that's an amazing honor that you basically have let me do things that usually 3 completely different guys would narrate, and such like stories that really have. I'm gonna get a bit choked up. This is silly, but like your writing really does hit a nerve with me, and it means it's a great privilege to narrate for you. It
And
really is.
And it's so important to me that you do such a good job, because it's they're my babies.
Of course they are.
And I listen to this, and it's you're bringing my characters to life.
Oh,
so-
well, thank you. Okay. Bye. Love Fest over.